How's it going, everybody? We're gonna be checking out the Xbox Extended Showcase that did go live at 1 p.m. this afternoon, and it was just as I was having the impressions video for both the two videos that went up today for the Starfield and the Xbox whole presentation. Each has its own video thing, so if you're interested, go check out those videos. But gonna be checking out that extended thing, and then maybe the Capcom video or Capcom stream that I think was back yesterday. I think it was something like that. I don't know. Yeah, apparently it was yesterday. So while I was watching the showcase, that Capcom presentation happened that was apparently 35 minutes ish based on the stream by GameSpot. But we got, okay, I'll just look at the, yeah, I'll look at this. Love it when for some reason it's at 1-4. Oh, that makes sense because of, yeah. But I don't know what much to expect besides is there 36, 34, okay. I don't know what to really expect in terms of stuff to possibly hear more of, because I would imagine there's going to be probably a Q&A stuff for Starfield more than likely, so who knows though. Let's see. I definitely just hope that they mention more stuff about not only Starfield but like various other games. But who knows? Let's get going. 6 seconds. So let's see what they did for the showcase. Rated pending. A bunch of stuff.
Hey, we are a small snippet of Squanch Games, and we are here to tell you how excited we are to be a part of the Microsoft Games Show Extended.
Game Showcase Extended.
You know, Game Showcase Extended. What's the need for the extended? Why add that extra word?
It's
like, is there one that's not extended?
Yeah, the original.
And that's why?
We're getting nods. There is a not extended one. Okay.
And that one's just called without the extended.
So that's just called
there's the normal one. I know what this is.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, we're happy to be a part of it nonetheless.
Yes, it's literally because it's explaining, which I'm glad, because a lot of the trailers, as I said in the full presentation for the regular one, I said in the description that there, as well as I think during the stream, that there was no like premise explanation on. It was just showing the trailer, like unless they verbally said it in the trailer about what the person's mission was, there was really not much of a premise. So let's see what they gotta say for various titles. Showcase extended. Are they just really running through the damn, like, dude, just you don't need to recap what we've seen.
Welcome to Xbox Games Showcase Extended.
Literally.
I'm Aaron, this is Malik, and we have the honor of diving deeper into some of the most exciting and talked about announcements, as well as gameplay from the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase just 2 days ago. For the first time ever, the entire showcase was focused on games you can play over the next 12 months.
That's right, Aaron. You saw world premiere gameplay from Redfall and Starfield, and today we've got Bethesda's own Pete Hines right here to tell us more. you'll hear from the renowned developers behind the brand new Xbox franchise, Our History Untold. Dive into Naraka Blade Point with our partners at NetEase Games, and so much more.
Yeah, we got it.
I love coming to events like this. You can just feel the energy, people loving to come together as a community, their love of video games, the Xbox fans. Just a really special time for everybody, myself included. Great.
Yeah.
More.
Okay. This is another game. Copy Stain. A game by Irongate. Some survival game with fishing. That low textured tree. Oh wait, yeah, I remember Twitter was making a big deal. I think this is Valheim, I believe. It's like the only game announcement that I saw on Twitter before or while it was starting the stream. Technically just after one. Yeah. Valheim, so PC and Xbox consoles. PC Game Pass this fall. Yeah, it makes sense because it's played on PC, so, and then of course the console and everything early spring, so it'll be interesting to check out. Hopefully the achievements aren't too grindy.
Bethesda opened the showcase with a dramatic gameplay demo for Redfall and closed it with Todd Howard showing us how deep the rabbit hole goes on Starfield. And we also got a sneak peek at CU as well. So about a month ago, you all announced some delays for both Redfall and Starfield. So I wanted to give you a chance to tell us a little bit about the decision-making process for that.
Absolutely. Look, with all the time that goes into a game, it would be foolish to rush it out the door before it's ready. I think we have continued to sort of examine how we think about games and making sure that they are going to meet our players' expectations. Obviously, the last 2 years have really challenged us from a development standpoint. How we work now largely remotely, while a lot of our folks are not back in the office, and that has an impact. I also think we've been thinking about things like release dates and when do we give those out, and how do we make sure we give one out that we actually hit and don't have to change later. So it's not something we undertake lightly, but at the end of the day, I think what our fans expect, what Xbox fans, what Bethesda fans expect is a high quality game, and we want to do everything we can to give our teams the time to fully realize the games they're making.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's all about, right? Like delivering an amazing experience. Talk a little bit about the pedigree of Arcane, just in case people don't know.
Sure.
These folks over there, they're doing their thing.
Arcane Studios is known for really amazing, immersive sims. They do any number of things. If you play games of theirs, Dishonored 2, Prey, there's a lot of common threads you'll find.
As what, I haven't even finished my first run of Dishonored just because the level I was on was a pain in the neck, and I was trying to do a essentially only kill the victim run. So I was trying to be as stealthy as possible. I literally just need a return. Like, it's bad enough the freaking games are bad enough for the size, even on PC, for like definitive edition and whatnot, for both games. I think that all the Dishonored games are on PC, but like I hate that they're separate achievements and whatnot because of course it's a PC port and the console port, so I gotta just return and actually finish the games.
In them, they create really amazing, believable worlds. I think that's a big part of their game.
I never even really got
when
into
you're in
Prey.
Dunwall or you're up on a space station in Prey, that it feels believable. There's a reason why things are the way they are. They're also a big believers in systems-based as opposed to scripted. So they really embrace player freedom and sort of giving players the tools to decide, you figure out how you want to complete this mission or get through this area. We're not going to tell you how. We're just going to give you tools and then give you the freedom to go and do. But, there's great...
Yes, literally, yes, that's the thing. Because that's why, I believe that's why I don't know if there was achievements for specifically only killing the target, or if it was just the fact of I wanted to do a run of only trying to kill the target and that was it, because of course you could knock out guards and everything like that, but I don't remember. I'd have to look at the achievement list to see if that was what it was or not.
Characters, an interesting story. They bring a lot of different elements and then really let the player create the experience they want.
And that's what it's all about. Gamers have taken many games and made it their own. And I think the fact that Arcane is making the game with that in mind is super important. Now, how similar or dissimilar would you say this game, Redfall, is from the other Arcane games?
Look, on the surface, it's a first-person shooter that you can play solo or with, up to 4 players. And so immediately you might say, well, it's not a single-player game, so it must be wildly different. And don't get me wrong, there's absolutely ways in which it is different. But I think when folks play the game, and even when they see more of the game, I think they'll start to see all of those things about an Arcane game that they love and appreciate. Why it's won multiple Action Game of the Year awards for Dishonored 2, is their ability to bring all of those things together.
Guess what? Unless the AI is I don't know. I can't really say because I haven't played a Dishonored title in forever, so I can't really say specifically, oh yeah, I hope I can think of how the AI is, because of course I only played the first one, so.
Together, really high level of polish, and let folks experience it. And so I think all of those things we talked about. If you want to play a game by yourself and get a great Arcane story, you can absolutely do that in Redfall. But you can also do things that you haven't been able to do in an Arcane game, like experience it with friends and find out sort of how the whole can become greater than the sum of the parts, like playing it off of each character's abilities. You saw some of that in the demo that we showed. I think the more that people appreciate that, you almost are going to want to try and play Redfall a couple of different ways. You might want to play it by yourself a little bit, play it with others, and it's a game that allows you to do either or both of those things.
It'd be an honor. Pete,
keep me on that list.
All right,
we need to go explore Redfall together.
I'm excited. I can't wait for that. And so let's talk a little bit more about the game. Now, between the trailer that we saw last year at the reveal, as well as this one that we just saw, I feel like Redfall reminded players of other co-op shooters, like Left 4 Dead, for example.
Exactly.
What makes Redfall unique?
Exactly. It gave me huge Left 4 Dead vibes when they were showing the various stuff, as well as Back 4 Blood.
Again, it's one of those things, like if you watch just like combat footage, you might look at Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood or any of these things and go, oh, I see multiple characters facing a bunch of enemies, and so it's the same game. But I think that would be doing a disservice, that it's all of the things that take place.
Guess what? The only difference is the fact of the enemies are vampires and they're still attacking you. It's the same thing. Only difference is different environment, different tool set, different abilities, because of course the character you choose, they have their own skill sets and everything. So yeah, it's basically the same game, only reskinned and different tools. So
in between the combat as well as the combat itself, sort of combining different skills and abilities in the way that you do, Layla dropping down an elevator using her powers that Jacob can use to get up top on a roof and provide cover. You have different characters who play.
Yeah.
And it'll look and feel like a different experience, even though you're in the exact same part of the game. I think those are the kinds of things that Arcane
for everyone to see that we're going to be playing together. So I'm going to hold you to that.
Absolutely.
We got the proof. All right.
Can't wait.
Awesome. So let's talk about Elder Scrolls Online now.
I don't care.
Online game. And so for players who may not have played Elder Scrolls, who are, like you said,
don't care.
Fallout 2.
What do they have to say about the
Pit? The franchise has become, and sort of growing and finding an even, a new audience with Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 76 is something we really want to celebrate. And honestly, what's going on in Fallout 76 with the Pit and your ability to continue to push the boundaries in an online game of story and meaningful player choice, and as you're going along, making decisions that kind of matter and have a real impact, I think is important in the evolution of Fallout 76, and just honestly how far that game has come.
Guess what? The only thing I look forward to just looking at videos for is seeing the difference between Fallout 3's Pit versus Fallout 76 Pit, because obviously they have to make much more environment to the actual map compared to how it was for the Fallout 3 because you only had this select amount of space and everything to kill the enemies that you possibly needed to kill, because I don't recall if you needed to necessarily kill everyone, but you had to get from point A to point B, and there was a lot of enemies between you, and just to get through the environment and escape the pit. So
from its launch, like we're
for you guys, a tribute to the community, giving that feedback.
You know, that 76 community, again,
I don't care.
One of those things about a Bethesda,
that moon versus end of the show, I gotta say, watching the trailer, breathtaking. It's one of those things from the different locations and just seeing the difference between that moon versus the populated city, just amazing. The dog fighting, just everything was so.
And in all those games that, you know, we talked about, and for every single one, you cannot pin people down to, oh, it's about this, because it's not. Like, ultimately what those games are massive sandboxes where they give players just ridiculous amounts of freedom to say, you go figure out what kind of game you want to play and what kind of experience you want to have, because that's what this game is about. It's not us.
Guess what? You still haven't shown any sentient beings that aren't human. Like, come on, man.
Prescribing and saying, you have to do these things. And like, what is fun for me? Do I want story? Now it's time for you to tell the story of Starfield, which is your story, which is going to be different than mine, which is going to be.
What does Bethesda define an epic RPG as?
Always pushes them just to do. We love it, but ship and be like, I want a kind of experience that I'm guided through so that I kind of get to see stuff. And I might stop here and there. Oh, there's a cool side quest that I got. But, you know, I want something that sort of leads me through, because I'm a little, you know, it can be a little daunting to say you can go do whatever I want. Like, ooh, I don't know what I should do. So some folks want a little bit of a guided.
Guess what? I only mind a guided like path situation if I'm not necessarily, like, if I don't necessarily have specific tools and I'm like, okay, where am I supposed to be going type of thing. Like, yeah, open world is great and all, but literally, why am I here? Unless you're saying I can do something specific at anywhere on the map, then it's like, then I would choose that, but yeah.
Path, or to understand where the fun is, and no approach is wrong. Like, for me, that's epic, because it says we aren't putting any limits on your time in this world we've created.
I love that. And you know, what you said about, you know, those moments that maybe, so I think that's going to be one of those things.
We talk about that a lot, that sort of water cooler moment.
Exactly.
Of like, you come in, you didn't even realize we're an option. Like, oh, I didn't even think about doing that. Like, I did that quest, but I did this completely different thing. And you sort of start to appreciate all of the choices.
Yeah, that's called a game with a lot of missions, because they were saying even that apparently there's going to be 20% more, I forget if they were saying in general of all their past games, or if it was like something like Skyrim, of like, for Starfield, it'll be 20% more games than what
is that you could have made. You didn't even realize were an option. Like, oh, I didn't even think about doing that. Like, oh yeah, I just ran in and stole his ship and shot all of his crew members and took off. Like, you can do that? Like, oh yeah, you can do anything. Like that. I think that is, think about doing that. Like, oh yeah, I just ran in and stole his ship and shot all of his crew members and took off. Like, you can do that? Like, oh yeah, you can do anything. Like,
that's nice to know. So if you don't want to, like, that would actually be great, because I don't think we've seen a currency system at all yet. So that would be a very nice thing. Is like, you have your own ship, but then just take a pirate ship after you just kill the crew and sell all the entire ship part for part and everything. Sell all that to a merchant, get your money. That's an easy way to make money.
that, I think that is a special part of a Bethesda Game Studios game. And when we say epic RPG, we mean all of the stories, all of them.
All right, you just gave me some ideas for stealing people's ships. So I appreciate that. That's going to be top on the list to do in Starfield. Now, we saw quite a bit of combat and action in the game. That seems to also be, in addition to exploring and everything, that seems to be another huge focus of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, look, if you look at a game like Skyrim, which, like, everybody's played Skyrim at this point, it can, you know, a combat is a big part of that, unless you decide it's not. Like, if you're one of those folks that says, actually, I'm going to do the alchemy thing, and I just go off and pick flowers and make potions and, like, live another life in another world this way, then combat isn't part of it. But look, we know in an epic RPG,
There's always bad people, shooting at you. Sometimes you got to return fire, and there's a lot of fun to be had there. And so,
tell that to freaking literally. I remember when I think it was just parents or something like that. Like they had Microsoft had to put a little like, hey, if you don't want your child to be dealing with enemies, then we have this whole better mode called peaceful mode. So that you don't have to deal with mobs at all.
Providing a lot of different skills that sort of determine how good you are in combat, combined with all the different weapons in the game, and then you layer in ship combat and all of these other things. It starts to sort of paint a picture of just how broad or how deep the rabbit hole goes.
It's going to be so impressive. And you touched on it a little bit, and I want to talk about it because this was when I'm watching the video, the demo, what I saw, and it really caught my eye, is around the ship. It's not just getting in the ship and that's your ship. There's so much behind it. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, like every ship is customizable to the nth than that in terms of like what kind of shields you have, what kind of weapons you have, like what kind of ship are you building? What do you want it to be good at? What trade-offs are you willing to make or not? And then the other part of it is, of course, well, you can't just, like, it's a spaceship. Those aren't cheap. So you have to figure out, like, how am I going to do this? Where do I get the resources to build this stuff? What kind of, skills do I need to level up to improve different parts of my ship beyond,
I just question, will there be a size limit on ships, or will someone be able to be like, oh yeah, I got a ship, and then have it the size of a freighter?
What I could do without those skills. So there's a lot of, again, choices in terms of you get to decide that, how much you want to put into that or not. Do you just want to give somebody money for the parts that you want? Do you want to build it? All of those things are sort of part of the fun of deciding how much do you want to interact with this and how do you want to interact with it?
Absolutely. I mean, just as you mentioned, the scope, the level of player agency, something that I feel like is going to just make Starfield such a special experience. So between Redfall, ESO, Fallout 76, and Starfield, you all are just Squanch Games, Obsidian Entertainment.
Get 3 months of a Game Pass for $1. I already did that last week.
Playground games, and of course, Xbox fans like you. But first, let's hear from the creators of one of the world's most popular Battle Royale games.
With players all around the globe.
What is this? Oh, I don't care. I don't care, dude. I'm not a samurai person, so I'm good. We have a lot of customization in our game. They really... Oh, June 23rd, apparently. Coming soon, apparently.
History is filled with
the Aura game. I don't even know if I'll be interested in this or not, because I haven't even played the Humankind
lost to
game.
Time. But what about the history that could have been if you were its architect?
Yeah.
How would you reshape people speak? Would you listen? But these will be yours.
Yeah, Bara. History Untold. It'll be interesting. Was that coming out this year? I don't remember. I think it was later this year.
I'm excited to welcome our friends from Oxide Games for a closer look at their historical grand strategy game for PC called Aura History Untold. Dan, Michelle, thank you two for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
And on behalf of the entire studio, we are really excited to be here and finally be able to talk about Aura.
I mean, we all are excited too. You just had the world premiere 2 days ago for Aura. And I have to say, I'm a really, really big history fan. I love me some history, so I've been looking forward to talking to you two about this. Now, we all know this is not your first strategy game, but the vision behind Aura is so ambitious. So tell us more about it. And also for those who are new to Oxide Games, we would love to hear more about the studio as well.
So Oxide Games was founded 9.5 years ago in my basement, actually, from the development leads of Civilization V. And our goal is to push strategy games to the next level.
And what's really great about working on a new IP is that you don't have kind of these previous expectations that a sequel would have. And so the sky really was the limit, and we got to really take the genre to a new space. And we really hope that not only will fans of strategy games like this, but people who've never played a strategy game before will find something they love as well.
You're absolutely taking it to the next level. I think I saw like a drone was in like the 18th century or something like that. It's very, very fascinating, and I think that like.
Well, yeah, that's literally those civilization games when you're like competing against other civilizations, so that are stuck time periods in the behind.
If you're someone who really enjoys history, it's bringing like all of the worlds together, all the periods of time together. And that's a grand vision in itself. So how does the vision of Ara impact the player experience within the game?
So one of the kind of big things we wanted to do with Ara was really explore how to make the game less about finding that optimal strategy, that optimal path, and really bring in ways to make it more meaningful to the player, make it unique to themselves. So what are different kinds of choices we can bring to the player so that when you play it's different than when I play, and yet we can both be competitive together? How can we do things to really impact agency and expression and really let you express your values and your play styles through the different mechanics in the product?
And Dan, what about you? How does the vision impact the overall experience?
Oh my God. Like, say something.
And so the game is obviously huge. It's just massive. And so it's a very large technological constraint from doing something like that. But we have our own proprietary engine that allows us to really bring this alternate Earth to life.
I think that's the beauty, right? Because in history, the great thing about learning history is that you learn about culture. You learn is a beautiful sight to see. And I'm excited.
So if you head over to the website, you can sign up for the Insider program, which will give you a chance to join the technical alpha and play the game later this summer, which is super exciting because we've been playing it, all the time, and so now you have a chance to play.
We get it.
With a highly anticipated story mode. Here's Adam Brennicky and Eric.
Are you kidding me? They didn't have really anything to say? Well, I'm just gonna skip through Ungrounded. I don't care. They didn't really have anything to say other than just extra BS.
You, what am I doing here? Later. Headed towards Arlington?
We're doing nothing. That's what we're doing other than checking out a museum for the Space Museum, which I haven't been to it in a long time.
Sony was gracious enough. They gave us a millimeter perfect scan, which is what we'll feature in the 40th anniversary edition. But as Nick and I kept talking, it was very clear, the world's foremost museum for air and space, the Smithsonian. Yeah. And Microsoft celebrating its 40th anniversary. It's a match made in heaven, and there's lots of things we can do.
Yeah, authenticity, accuracy, access, it's all there. We're hoping that if everyone has as much fun in the community with the content that we initially collaborated on, a couple of our most historic aircraft, and some of the other aircraft in this center are already in the simulator, maybe we can jump in with both feet and do more in the years to come. Maybe even, who knows, we'll go crazy. We'll put the space shuttle in there.
Doubt it highly, because seeing as how this is supposed to be a space or a flight sim, not a space sim, so it would make no sense to put the space sim in there. Oh my God, you keep chatting about. I want to see the High on Life footage. We get it. Fest. Yeah, I'm good. It was amazing. Oh.
And we're here to talk about High on Life, our new action, adventure, comedy, Metroidvania, first-person shooter that is nothing at all, a little bit like Microsoft Excel.
All right, you're a bounty hunter now. You gotta help me rescue my friends. They're Gatlians just like me.
Please tell me that I was going to
talk about.
Let's dive in. So Justin, you're typically known for working in animation. What brings you into the world of games? Why are you in the world of games?
Yeah. I'm obsessed with games, have been my whole life. Always had ideas, always had, things I would love to make, but just never thought I could ever step into that arena because I lack all the skills needed.
You don't know how games work.
Other than like creative direction, creative ideas, like other than that, I lack all the skills to execute.
But that's why, that's part of why you want to start Squanch, right? Is to be able to have an idea like that and let it grow to something amazing.
Lit the fire. This is like our real legit swing at like a proper, we're indie, but like this is like our AAA, like, or is it triple I for indie?
We're triple I.
Yeah. This is a triple I game.
So the story of our game mostly follows like Earth being invaded by this evil criminal cartel of aliens who come in and kidnap humans and start selling them on the black market like they're drugs. And
okay, that's all you had to say, because the thing didn't, all they said was, oh, your friends got taken and you gotta free them. So that's all you had to say, was mention, hey, a criminal group decided to take over the planet and took your friends, save them.
You're the one human who has to team up with a talking gun and stop them.
And when you select a cartel leader that you're gonna go after, like, it opens the portal door to that world that they're in.
Eric, can you tell us a little bit about
linear or open
the worlds of the game, the art style of the game, the visuals?
Yeah. So we spent a lot of time kind of constructing and creating these awesome alien worlds. Myself and Mikey Spano, who is our art director, him and I worked like a ton on the sort of art direction of the game. He really kind of landed in this space, which was kind of Blade Runner meets the Muppets. So we're trying to capture.
I wouldn't call them Muppets. I would not call it Muppets.
Especially our aliens. And then each world is its own kind of unique flavor, right? I think some of the ideas came from very kind of core thoughts. Like we want to have an awesome alien, like drug-dense spa on an asteroid. And yeah, what makes me really excited is the sort of really clear and like it's almost deceivingly simple narrative, right?
Save the Earth, humans or drugs, talking guns. Ta-da.
So Alec, what are the guns? What's their deal?
The guns are these talking alien Gatlians. They're all shaped somewhat like a gun you'd find on Earth, but they've evolved to be just gun-like in their own way. And so this race of Gatlians each has their own unique personality, their unique set of abilities, and you're gonna be rescuing them from this evil alien cartel, and together, you gotta stop the bad guys.
Do we just have infinite ammo at that point, since they're all like living guns?
Get more Gatlians.
Yeah, collect more Gatlians.
Yeah, a lot of players are gonna have very different experiences depending on what gun they favor.
Yeah, you kind of pick your favorite companion to have out a lot and hear their dialogue, be part of different dialogue scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Look at us, blasting away!
And sometimes you can unlock the guns in a different order than another player has. So when you go back through a level, you'll see things that you would have been able to access if you'd done it in the other order.
That's
and you can come back.
That's a huge one.
All right, so we've talked about this crazy good game that sounds amazing. Why should people be excited to play it?
Exactly.
As a studio, we are attempting to bring A-level adult comedy into video games.
Something I love about Squanch is we would put a lot of effort into things that a lot of other studios wouldn't even bother with, like a single small joke that 5 players might find.
Well, okay, now I can.
I love that stuff. I love like edge casing and like
what makes you remember a game.
Yeah, like if a player's trying to break the game in a certain way and then you have an answer for that for them, that is like such a memorable and amazing moment. It's almost like watching TV, but the viewer is able to reach into the TV and poke a thing, and the character has to respond to that. And there's so much fun to be had.
Don't play it, definitely play it. Or play it, definitely play it. Okay, I thought it said don't. I'm like, wait, what? Gun. Oh, wasn't shown.
This is gonna be fun.
Ooh.
You know I can't let you leave.
This is straight up that Detroit Become Human DLC, or not Detroit Become Human. What was it? The origami game, that freaking PS4, that DLC that of course I hate how it wasn't part of the physical copy because it was digital only. Which I think it was taken off the store, I don't know. Yeah, it was PS3 digital only, that's right, yeah. They never ported it to PS4. What is Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I never watched the movie, so Coming next year. And it's coming to Game Pass apparently, so hopefully it's not going to just be as laughable as how bad the Friday the 13th movie, or Friday the 13th game is, because I was through gold and everything, because that was how they wanted their sales and everything. Is this Penitent?
You play a character named Andreas Mahler, who is... Pentiment is a narrative adventure game set in 16th century Bavaria, which is part of the Holy Roman Empire. You play a character named Andreas Mahler, who is an artist working at a Benedictine abbey. He gets involved in a series of murders and scandals and tries to unravel them over a period of about 25 years.
All right.
The name Pentiment, it is specifically referring to paintings in which there's an older painting underneath the painting that you see on the top. And if you scrape away the top layer, you see what was left behind. This has a bunch of significance. Obviously, you're playing a painter, but also it has a lot of significance to the idea of history kind of being covered and uncovered over time.
Ah, well, I certainly look forward to it, so...
Art style of Pentiment, especially blending the late medieval illuminated manuscripts with the early modern woodcuts.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be an achievement. I need a guide for this game for sure. If I have to be using a paper over a candle, I'm like, unless I'm doing that often, I'm gonna have to look at a guide for the game for sure.
Yeah, so there's a lot of major points to solve and kind of marry between wanting this to be a true to the history, true to the feel of the source material that we were referencing as far as the narrative.
Okay.
The buildings do change, but really it's the characters where you see all the crazy stuff happen.
Kids that I had become attached to because it's a 4-year-old and we designed them to be a 4-year-old and then they're getting married and then I felt a weird like emotional reaction to
Well, yeah, 25 years, it makes sense. So you'll see a baby in the beginning of the game and then you'll see them become 20. Unless they died.
that because I'm like, baby's all grown up.
Yeah. It's time for you.
I think the 16th century has always been really interesting.
Yeah, we're good. That's coming in November, so I look forward to it. Nice achievement game. Very much so. Why is the, I don't know.
It's putting us.
As dust.
Alright, let's do crime.
It's such a bad idea.
All you had to do was keep your mouth shut!
I'm gonna override this.
Is your life mission to cause harm?
Yeah. This is my favorite shot of the whole game. This one.
With As Dusk Falls, what we're trying to do is to make a brilliant interactive experience for anyone who loves brilliant storytelling. So people who enjoy films, people who enjoy TV series. It's also a social experience and about sharing these stories with the people you love.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much what it is, so that's why I look forward to it. And I just want to get through this.
And decide what's gonna happen to them, help them grow and change.
Guess what? It's just choices, okay? We don't need to spend this long on this. It's literally, hey, experience solo or vote in it for multiplayer, so that's what it's gonna be, and I look forward to it.
Let's check out what mysteries, adventures, and, of course,
done much
slimes
in the
are waiting
first
for
game.
us in the new, vibrant world of Slime Rancher 2.
Okay. Wow, that was a mess. Oh, you can store. You do that in the first game? Of changing out stuff? Coming this fall? Interesting, okay. I just question, why did they have to make a sequel? I really wonder that. What's going to be the big change, other than the environment, pretty much?
All right, time to get going.
Okay, we got it. FanFest. Oh boy, his experience at FanFest. Hot Wheels coming to Forza. Let's look at that real quick.
We are so excited to tell you all about Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels, the first expansion for Forza Horizon 5. So Mike, let's start with why the team decided to bring Hot Wheels to Forza Horizon 5's Mexico.
Our fans have been telling us for years about how much they loved Forza Horizon 3's Hot Wheels expansion. So we've been waiting for the right time to bring everyone another Hot Wheels adventure. Forza Horizon 5 presented the perfect opportunity to bring Hot Wheels to life like never before with the power of the Xbox Series X and S.
It really does sound like the perfect time for Forza Horizon and Hot Wheels, so I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit more about what to expect being in the clouds of Mexico this time.
Yet. Once there, you'll join the Hot Wheels Academy and set out to take on Forza Horizon's most extreme racing yet and prove yourself a Hot Wheels legend.
Let's go.
As well as the iconic orange Hot Wheels track, you'll take on new driving experiences across gravity-defying magnet tracks, as well as ice, water flume, and rumble tracks.
So we spoke loads about biomes.
Yeah, we get it. It's just Hot Wheels tracks, essentially, so... I'm surprised they're spending this long on it. Oh, Fall Guys. I think it's just gonna be that trailer. Yeah. Just the trailer that it's coming next month.
Now, onto our next block, pun intended, of course. Minecraft Legends is the action strategy take on the franchise. I mean, this is a really exciting time for the team. Let's talk Minecraft as a whole, though. That game, I have nothing to back this up, but I feel like everyone on the planet's played Minecraft at this point. But that wasn't enough for you all. You all went and made Minecraft Dungeons, and now we're moving on to the recently revealed Minecraft Legends. So, one, tell me a little bit about what it means for the team to act.
For some time now. Minecraft Legends is an action strategy game is set in the Minecraft universe. And in order to build this, we really wanted to...
Honestly, I'm surprised. Instead of doing it like this type of gameplay, I'm surprised they didn't do a tower defense game.
Partner with a great company that understands strategy games.
Because it just looks like
that's when we reached out with Blackbird Interactive.
DLC for Dungeons.
In doing so, we were able to create an experience that is welcoming for people who may have not played Minecraft, but also people who have. And I mean, you've seen the trailer. It's about going and traveling through these beautiful biomes, exploring this world that is familiar yet still mysterious. And so as you explore these lush biomes, you collect resources, and then you use...
Oh, you mean like the Minecraft? Like
those resources to build defenses from these dangerous but very cute piglins. And in those offensive, you're able to fight them back and send them back to where they come from. And you know what? You're going to probably want to build some alliances with some unexpected friends because they're going to help you actually defeat the piglins and send them back to where they come from.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. And I love what you said about trying to make a game that's both...
I just question, how is the player supposed to make the mobs of the overworld like actually be friendly, because they're not exactly intelligent?
For fans of Minecraft that exist and new fans coming in, Minecraft can go in so many different directions, I feel like, with a new game. What made you choose action strategy?
Exactly.
Well, really, it was many years ago, as a group of folks at Mojang sitting around talking about what game genres they really enjoy. And action and strategy were the most popular ones that came up. And so we started to think about who we could partner with to build that experience. And that's where we came into Blackbird Interactive. And that was back in 2018. And, the project was codenamed Badger. And an interesting little fact for many of those people that might follow Minecraft, if you go back to Minecon 2018 and you look at the shirt that Jens Berenstain was wearing, you'll see a graphic.
Oh my God, I don't care.
Communities, and It's from Mojang specifically. Like you mentioned, Minecraft Dungeons. That's a great example where Mojang went out and we built this dungeon crawler experience in the Minecraft universe, and players love it. It's wonderful. And with Minecraft Legends, we're trying to do something similar, really. And here we're going to be introducing a narratively driven campaign with a whole bunch of new characters and a lot of other things that I'm not ready to share right now.
Guess what? Unless you're like showing off a new mob for the hell of it for the game, like there's not much to spoil. We know what the mobs are.
Dennis, I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends. You can share it with me and everyone watching. No? Okay.
Xbox Game Pass. And if you want to know more, just follow us Twitter.
I'm good.
So,
FanFest. Still waiting for some. That's just an ad. Oh, they're showing off random new games. Yeah. Bunch of different games. Interesting. Oh, Phantom Abyss. I know that one because it's technically on PC, so. Hollow Knight, yeah.
Sarah Bond, who leads the gaming ecosystem organization here at Xbox. Sarah, it's so great to have you.
It is awesome to be here and so good to see you too.
Yes, I'm super excited for this conversation because as we know, game creators are crucial to Xbox's success. And whenever you talk about them, it's what your team do.
The creators are just the bedrock of everything we do on my team. You know, when you really think about it, where gaming really comes from.
Oh my God. Can we...
An engaging gamer community for them to come to through Xbox. What are the set of tools and
was there a time code thing, like, at all? Like, there... Oh, just... Okay. Someone... Any other time code stuff? Like... Please? Okay. No one else gives a shit. I was just hoping there would have been something.
Only the developers, but the players themselves as well.
Yeah.
For example, you and your team just announced a new feature that's going to bring game demos to players. Can you tell us a little bit more about Project Moorcroft?
Project Moorcroft. I know. I love these project names. I wish they would just let me name it, but
yeah,
they
just
won't.
Say it.
I know.
You know,
they won't.
Can we change that?
Well, look, we were sitting around as a team and we were thinking about some of the things that we've always loved the most about the gaming industry. And one of them was, remember when you would go to like a show talking to you about their experience, asking you to try things out, asking you your feedback. And that was one of the things I loved the most about those experiences. We just don't have them as much anymore, you know?
Nope. Instead, Sony is literally forcing the developers for PlayStation 4 and 5. I don't know if it's 4, but I know it's 5. That literally, if your game, I don't know if it's because of the game time or if it's the price of your game, it must have a demo made for it that's like less than 2 hours or something like that, or an hour or something like that. But it's either based on the time it takes to complete the game or it's based on the price of the game that you're forced to make a demo.
In the way that the world has evolved. And so we thought, gosh, how can we make Game Pass like that? Like, how can we use the power of Game Pass and all of the great discovery and player engagement that is in it and have it create for creators that opportunity to engage with fans early as they're creating their game, and also for players to get to experience something that they're really anticipating. And so that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to have a program that enables developers to take a piece, a level of their game, and put it into Game Pass so that they can get that great feedback and players can engage with them.
Literally, especially platformers. Like, the great thing about that is all you have to do is, hey, here's the first level of the game, and there's your demo. Like, that's the great thing. So badly. Or even just like a quarter of the way through the game. Hey, here's a chunk of the game. Then you can enjoy it.
Them. And we know it's a lot of work sometimes for developers to do that, so we're also going to compensate them for their participation in the program. I'm so excited for what's going to come when we launch that.
When is
I
it
think
coming?
the one thing that we all miss is that connection, right? And now that we are able to come back into conferences and stuff like that, we still need to deepen it, because by deepening that connection, you're diversifying the voices, and then that in return helps to diversify the games and bring diversity into games. So
Why do we have to talk about diversity? It should be just
to shaping
common.
our perceptions, to what we talk about, to what we believe, to broadening our perspectives, is critical. And we think about.
Oh my God. I think we're at the end anyway.
Yeah, I get that question a lot. Specifically dedicated to working with creators in the region.
So what message would you like to leave for creators who are interested in starting in the industry?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. People say to me, gosh, I would really like to be part of the gaming industry. I'd love to make a game. How do I break through? How do I get involved? And I say, first of all, network. Talk to people, meet people, connect with people, just how you and I connected actually at an industry event, which we met at, which was super fun. You know, build that network and that connectivity.
Yeah, see, like they said, oh yeah, how do you do this? You need to know people. That's literally the point of any industry. If you want something like possibly made or done, you literally have to have connections. Otherwise, you literally, nothing's gonna happen. Not unless you paid people to get something to happen. So, sad to say, but that's literally what has to happen. You have to know people.
Because it's so critical in every industry, but I think particularly in gaming, right? You know, go to industry conferences like GDC, meet people, learn, try that out. And if you're interested in making a game for Xbox, you can actually go to github.com. You can actually download the Xbox Game Developer Kit and get started. And once you have a game concept, you can also submit it online through id@xbox.com, and then you can self-publish to Xbox, which is another great way.
Yeah, but for that, I'm pretty sure for the self-publishing stuff, you actually have to have like there's probably requirements of like a following, so that you're not just throwing up on the store like some trash game just for gamer score or whatever. Like, I could be wrong, but I think you have to have a sizable game and not just a 2-second thing.
And of course, if you actually want to get involved in the industry, all companies are great, but I highly recommend you check out Coming to Work at Xbox. I'm biased, obviously.
I mean, hey, you have every right to be so. Sarah.
Come work at Xbox. Like, yeah, and they, like, unless you really want to work essentially in Washington, like, because I believe that's all they are located. Like, obviously there's remote positions, but whatever. Whoever wants to do it, power to you.
Today. And also, thank you to all the viewers for tuning into Extended. We've heard from so many amazing developers on today's show. Now, before we finish, is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
We were talking earlier about the importance of people being able to tell their story through a game and how incredibly powerful it is. I mean, when we were talking about that, I was thinking about an experience we've had as a team.
Oh my God, can we just, what?
The Xbox Game Showcase, and it was
Stalker
just incredible. 2. And you know, the thing was, when I was looking at that game last year, and I was looking at the story that they were telling, and they were talking about the beauty of the land and their dedication to their culture and their country, and I thought, wow, this is a cool game. This is a compelling story. But sitting here today, you know, recognizing that that team is Ukrainian, they were based in Kiev, looking at that story and what they were showing to the world just feels entirely different and far more poignant and visceral to me. You know, this is a team who's...
Yeah, we get it. They're from Ukraine. It sucks what's going on over there for sure. So... Oh, they're making a big deal about it. Yeah. That's interesting that they decided to include this in the showcase, but I'm all for it. Want to make it public. Big deal about it. Yep. Yep. Yep, a lot of people just leaving. Because they have to.
Здесь кипело Работа, идеи, она не останавливалась. 3 месяца назад началась война России с Украиной.
Yep.
Що код робочий день починається з тривоги.
Під час сильних обстрілів ми біжимо в укриття.
Це переноска для мого кота, який загинув ще в перший тиждень війни. Ходишь вечером, сирена, выходишь днем, сирена. Днем еще работать надо, поэтому особо не выйдешь, а вечером все время вот так.
Це моє робоче місце.
Вже 3-й місяць я живу і працюю в коридорі. Зі мною живе одноокий пес, врятований з-під обстрілу в Гостомелі. Зараз мені важко писати квести про війну, коли вона йде навколо.
Write violent quests when there's a war. Like, dude, yeah, like narrative designer, yeah, that sucks.
Так работает в перерывах между сиренами і волонтерськими задачами.
Світ ще побачить, наскільки в нас класна культура, і в тому числі, наскільки класні ігри ми можемо робити.
Меня зовут Александр. Я являюсь сотрудником компании ЖСК. Я с Мариуполя. С начала боевых действий была потеряна связь с моими родными и близкими. И это непередаваемое, ужасное чувство, когда ты не знаешь, живы они или нет.
Yeah.
Може статися повномасштабна війна.
Я Олексій Іванов, ком'юніті-менеджер проекту Stalker 2. Зі зброєю в руках захищаю свою країну від російської агресії.
Привіт, я Макс, наративний дизайнер гри Stalker 2. Після перемоги я до неї повернуся. Побачимось на релізі. Слава Україні!
Yeah. Unable to publicly share their... Obviously, because they gotta keep themselves safe. I'm very surprised they did include that, but it's understandable because literally there are developers and everything involved
Last question,
in the area.
Are you sure the perimeter surrounding the zone is really enough? If a powerful emission were to occur, we would...
Listen, the zone has remained stable for years. Besides, we didn't establish the most advanced institution in human history without first guaranteeing its safety. As the head of the Scientific Institute for Research of the Chernobyl area, or CERC for short, I believe the wonders that we will bring to the world far outweigh the potential risks.
How big are these risks exactly?
The zone reveals a whole new world. We can stick with the old one, fearing change. But tell me, do you want our descendants to remember us as cowards? Or as those who dared to venture forward to a new, better humanity?
I'm guessing is Stalker 2 trailer.
The injured were evacuated. I remind our listeners that a similar incident happened in our region quite recently, ruining homes and livelihoods.
Yep, going into radiation. Heart of Chernobyl. I never played the first game. Yep. How? I'm sorry, but you can delay the game. You don't need to push the game for release until the war is over. Like, god damn, because it's like, it's literally a strain on the employees. I hope they're not fucking I really hope that they're not pushing them to be like, oh yeah, get this thing done. It's like when they're in a war zone. God damn. It's just so sad. Oh man. Yep. It was definitely interesting. For sure. I think I'll now check out the Capcom thing because I think it was only about a half hour. I think it was, but that was definitely entertaining for sure. Let's see, Capcom showcase. Yeah, it should be fun, but I don't know if I'll use any of that footage at all for the thing or not, but we will see. Oh, nice. At least this thing actually time coded, so. Yeah, definitely. I will say that I do wish that they had spoken more about Starfield for sure. I love how they spent so long on the vampire game, like being like, oh yeah, don't you think it looks so similar? And it's like, yeah, it definitely looks very similar and everything. So I just hope we see more from Starfield for sure over the next few months, because it's like it's bad enough that they confirmed. Let me look. Let me see. Starfield Q&A. Like, I don't even know. GNQ interview. Let's see. Let's see. Since I'm looking at this now. Let's see. For Starfield, yeah, Fallout 5, I saw that coming after Elder Scrolls 6. Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production, and we'll be doing Fallout 5 after that. Starfield includes more handcrafted content than any Bethesda game. Likely most discussed detail was the announcement that RPG will include 1,000 planets. Howard told us the game's approach to procedural generation, what it offers, and assured us that players can. Was there a video or no? That's just the gameplay. I don't know. Is this it? Oh, okay.
Welcome to Summer of Gaming 2022. I'm Ryan McCaffrey here at IGN. I am always
excited today after this weekend, and incredible response from everybody.
Well, that's actually where I wanted to start with you. So we're recording this the day after the showcase, and so were you following the community reaction? What was your reaction to the community reaction to the gameplay reveal?
Well, I'm always excited when nothing leaks, so that's usually where I start. The whole team obviously is spending years on the game, and then when you put it out there, there is this moment of how's everyone going to react. And I will say, the fans have been really incredible in the response to what we're doing and their support. So everyone in the team is just really overjoyed, and all that energy back to us is so much fuel in the tank to make this as good as it can be.
Okay.
I just wanted to talk to you about a few follow-up questions I had, because many people have been very much looking forward to this game, and part of that is the scale and scope of this, Todd. That you seem to really want to drive that home in the presentation, the massive scale and scope of this project. You've got all these planets. You touched on 1,000 planets. I imagine you're going to have to procedurally generate a lot of those.
Yeah, look, I mean, we're pretty aware you throw that out near the end, people will go, what did you just say? And then they'll have a lot of questions on how that works, and we will probably deep dive into that in the future. Here's how we pull it off and how it feels. We ask ourselves in the games that we love to make and that we love to play, and what's great about video games, and you're going to step into these universes, you go through in your head all the things you would want to do in a game like that, and we try to say yes as much as possible. It was always for us.
Oh, screw you. Like, you don't want to just talk about procedurally generated, how you're going to do it? Like, okay.
Because that's going to involve in the way that Skyrim, in terms of questing, game concept, just one planet is infinitely big. if you're going to do it in some realistic fashion. So once you're dealing with scale like that in procedural systems, the difference between, say, one planet that has some variation on it and 100 planets or 1,000 planets, it's actually not that big of a leap, if that makes sense, once you have good systems working for that. But I should also add that we have done more handcrafting in this game, like content-wise, than any game we've done. We're over 200,000 lines of dialogue, so we still do a lot of handcrafting.
I would certainly hope so, because even with so many planets, you're still gonna have to do some custom ones anyway.
And if people, well, I'm just gonna wander this planet, and it's gonna provide some gameplay and some random content and those kind of things, kind of like a Daggerfall would, if you go way back. You know, there are a lot of ice balls in space, so that was one.
Oh my god.
It is what it is. You want to go land on that weird planet and check it out and build an outpost and live your life there and watch the sunset because you like the view of the moons there. Like, we go for it. We love that stuff.
Well, you know, similarly, I wanted to ask you about the space combat. You can build a ship and you can go battle in ship-to-ship combat in outer space. So when I saw that, I thought, well, that's really cool, but I did also get a little twinge of fear that, well, I hope this isn't going to be something shallow like the you know, going with the Mako on Mass Effect 1 and just roaming a bunch of mostly empty planets. So
exactly.
Like, can you talk a little bit about the depth of what we can look forward to with the space combat?
Sure. That was, I would say, the two things that we started on the project is we had a good basis for tech and gameplay systems from Elder Scrolls and Fallout. We started the planet stuff, the procedural generation, and we started space combat. We want this to feel something unique. There's been a lot of space sims that we're fans of and space shooters from the 90s. And if you look at it, you can see it in the video. Your ship has various power systems.
Yeah.
A little bit of FTL there in terms of putting how much power into 3 different weapon systems, and then your engines and shields, and the grav drive is what lets you jump and sort of get out of some situations that you have to put power to. So there is some dogfighting. I have quotes up. We keep the pace fairly slow. One of the games that I love that we sort of look at for pace is Mech Warrior, believe it or not.
Nice. Good call back there.
Like that's probably a little bit slower, but in terms of systems and power and being able to line things up. Now it's a little bit faster than that, but you know what I mean, as opposed to a twitchy dogfighter. But it's not just dogfighting. Like, the ship stuff includes, you see it in the video, you can dock with other ships, you can disable them, you can dock, you can board it. There's actually some quests that involve that. You can steal the ship. There's dialogue in space. There's star stations you can visit. There's smuggling. There's it's, you know, all the things that we would want. And we'll be showing some more of that later. But it's a good chunk of.
Yes, but you're still not telling me, hey, we have sentient beings and not just humans.
Of gameplay that we think is really fun when it comes to playing this type of sci-fi game.
Oh, you're getting me fired up, Todd. And one of the other things, actually, that really jumped out at me, that got me fired up from the gameplay reveal, was the character customization and the character creation. So many character backgrounds to choose from. Beast Hunter, Bouncer, Chef, Diplomat, Gangster. Your favorite that maybe you've been messing around in a build lately that's you've been having fun with?
I might get the number wrong, Ryan. Maybe there's 20.
Okay.
We add or remove.
Yeah.
And that really is, think of it like a class, kind of. It's a start.
Right.
Here are your starting skills.
Words might prove.
You picked.
It says here you spend some time as a diplomat. Having a way with words might prove useful.
Yeah.
There's some things like that that's a bit more interesting role-playing outside of your usual, I just shoot people. So we do have some really nice role-playing systems for...
Yeah, I get it.
We have.
You know, something else that's always memorable in your games and your team's games is that first moment when you come out of, whether it's a jail cell or a cave or whatever it is, a vault, and you see the game world for the very first time. Is there a handcrafted moment like that in Starfield, given that there are many worlds?
There is. Look, the way the game starts is pretty set for everybody.
Yeah.
I would hope so, for they're familiar with that whole thing, so...
The ones that we do spend time on to make sure it's impactful when you finally get to see the, a surface of the planet or what that planet...
Oh my god.
To go back to one of your games, the Imperial City from Oblivion, is what are some of the things we can do in there? Because it seems like a place that you're going to want to go back to time and again.
Yeah, we have 4 main cities in the game, and New Atlantis is easily the biggest city in the game and the biggest city we've ever built. Kind of the cap.
I'm just definitely, like they're saying, like, I hope it's more than just vendors. I really hope so.
Here in the game.
I hope it's more than like a Destiny situation.
It has all the services you would expect, and you can work on your ship there. The factions touch that, but that's also the headquarters for Constellation, which is the faction that you join.
Like I said, missions and vendors. I hope it's more than just that.
Right.
That is the last group of space explorers, kind of this NASA meets Indiana Jones meets the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And that's really where the main quest goes through that group, so that's where they're headquartered.
15 minutes is a lot of time in a showcase, but it's not really a lot of time to go over everything in something as vast as what Starfield appears to be.
That didn't even explain it. He literally just said exactly what I said, that it's literally just covering wow, that's so stupid. They never even said anything more.
So I wanted to ask you about the main story. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because that's something that I feel like wasn't really touched on in the video. I mean, we know about Constellation and you're joining, but what's sort of the central conflict? What can you kind of set the game up for us a little bit?
Yeah, we touch on it a little bit in the demo, where Constellation is trying to, they're still exploring and figuring out the mysteries of the universe, and they also look for, old Earth artifacts. You'll see that in some of the stuff we hint at, and the exploration, and then they've uncovered some of these artifacts that they don't know their origin, and that's the quest you kind of start on.
Oh, so basically you're just literally looking to find out about artifacts.
There's never been a shortage of things to do. Can we expect the main story to be roughly the same length, kind of hours-wise, as we've seen from your previous games? Or is that leveling up too, along with the scope of everything else in Starfield?
We usually aim for around that length if you look at our previous games, but this one's ending up a little bit longer, and we may tune that some still. And it's more quests, so it might be 20% more than our previous ones. So if you say, and your mileage may vary, people generally don't straight line it, but if our previous ones, if we aimed for, let's say, a 25-hour main quest, this one might be in the 30s, maybe 40 just for the main quest. But
yeah,
obviously, all of the other quests and faction lines and everything else we have here, there is quite a bit. There is quite a bit there, and we've sort of learned.
Yes, we get it.
Certainly, we're going to be doing extra content for this game, and we love our modding community. We actually think.
Okay, good to hear. It's going to be supporting mods.
This game for our modding community is going to be a dream, because there's so much they could do. So we think that's a great thing that we love as well.
You always aim for these big games, but you were talking about it at the beginning of our conversation that you tried to say yes to everything, to everybody's ideas for this. Do you do that in part because, if we take a realistic look at your studio and you personally, you've got 3 major game franchises under your direct control with the Elder Scrolls and Fallout and now Starfield. So did you take any kind of different approach to Starfield, knowing that realistically you probably won't be able to physically get around to making another one for at least 5 years and probably more like 10, given that you're moving on to Elder Scrolls 6 after this, and presumably Fallout might be in the future down the road as well?
Well, I wouldn't say we say yes because we don't think we'll get another shot for a decade. We just think what we'd want to do in a game, and how can we make that work the best it can be. And there are some things that we don't do intentionally to say, is that really where we want to spend the time? What's going to be impactful? You know, one for Starfield people have asked is, well, can you fly the ship straight down to the planet? No. We decided early in the project that the on surface is one reality, and then when you're in space is another reality. And if you try to like really spend a lot of time engineering the in-between, like that segue, you're just spending a lot of time that's really just not that important to the player. So let's make sure it's awesome when you're on the surface and awesome when you're in space. And those
just screw you saying that. Oh yeah, can you land it? Nope, you can't. You literally probably have to plot the point on the damn planet where you want to land, and then it'll just approximate a safe area to land doing that. Screw, like, why?
Realities look as good as they can be and play as good as they can be for those realities. But the other thing you said, yes, Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production, and we're going to be doing Fallout 5 after that. So our slate's pretty full going forward.
Yeah.
For a while. We have some other projects that we look at from time to time as well, but they do take a while. I wish they came out faster. I really do. We're trying as hard as we can, but we want them to just be as best as they could be for everybody.
Well, Todd, I look forward to learning.
Yep. Was there anything I missed from the text? Step out moment. Main City is the biggest city Bethesda's ever made. It has all services you would expect. Factions is not the biggest in this game, but bigger than anything in Skyrim, Fallout 4, Okay, that's cool. So that's interesting. I really hope that they go in depth with the cities for sure, with how many planets there are. Starfield doesn't let you fly seamlessly. People ask, yeah. We decided not to do it. It's like, because we said screw you. Because No Man's Sky, you can do it. Oh, man. Unique and inspired. Yeah. So. It's just stupid, period. For sure. But I'm not gonna, with how long that took, I was not expecting a 15-minute interview, but I don't know if I'll be putting this footage up on YouTube or not, so definitely was entertaining though to find more out about Starfield, because that's why I'm like, we got literally no like Q&A stuff, and that this interview was today, so just after, I'm guessing, the extended showcase happened. So it definitely, like I said, they didn't even like bother to be like, hey, we only saw humans in the trailer. Will there be other sentient beings? I don't know why they didn't ask that, because it's like, what the hell? Why should we have to have an outer world situation of literally just humans when there's thousands of planets? Like, goddamn, No Man's Sky has you don't even, I don't even think there are humans at all other than a regular space helmet, but that's about it. It's just stupid. But hopefully there are sentient beings, but we will see. I hope you all have enjoyed. I'm just gonna call it for the stream because it's about to be 10:30 anyway, so. And I'll probably watch the Capcom showcase tomorrow, and then after that I'll probably do the latest Minecraft update achievements. I'll probably do afterwards, and then see where we go from there. But hope you all have enjoyed this stream, and yeah, I will see you all next time. Bye for now.